Our 5 favorite wrestling heels.
This was actually very tough because from the late 90s even to now, the line is so blurred.
Yeah.
How a heel is liked. It was so difficult to come up with 5 because why did you like them? For the heel, for me, they had to have been utterly detestable.
Yes.
But that's how they're doing their job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you know it's a good heel. When they have, real heat, when you want to stab a motherfucker.
Yep.
That's when you know it's good heat.
Yeah.
Not go away heat.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a general difference, but also when they're doing, and again, the late 90s, I mean, when you had everybody. I was thinking of at least one wrestler in the Attitude Era that was just good or just bad. And it seemed like they all were...
like tweeners.
They were all favorites, but doing bad things.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Well, if you think about it, though, Hogan made a career out of being a babyface, but doing heel shit.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. All right, what's your first one there, Bill?
Well, these are not in any really particular order. As again, it's really hard to come up with. But I'm going to come up with one that this was the last one I could come up with that really I felt really did personify a good heel, and that was Owen Hart. When he did his stuff with the Slammies.
Yes.
And he was always bringing them out, taunting the crowd.
It's time for a change.
Going after his brother, joining the Nation of Domination.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Owen Hart,
I almost forgot about Owen's heel run and how fucking good that was.
And he was so good at it. And he was just being just a flat-out jerk. He won those Slammies, and everybody knew it.
Uh-huh. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Yep. I am not a nugget.
I fucking miss Owen Hart.
Yep.
All right, what's your first one there, Jim?
Well, I don't follow wrestling that much.
That's okay.
So we're going back to the old days.
That's okay. I've been...
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
This is kind of going to go in order. This guy was big, mean. He just shoving his weight around. King Kong Bundy.
Literally throwing his weight
yeah,
around.
definitely.
Yes.
Me and all my Bundaholics. Hogan had the Hulkamaniacs. Bundy had his Bundaholics. And he wanted...
He WrestleMania 1 or 2?
2.
2, all right.
He was WrestleMania 2, the main event of L.A.
Okay.
Because there was three locations. It was...
Really?
Yes. It was New York, or actually East Rutherford. It was at the...
MetLife?
Not MetLife. MetLife wasn't a thing. At the Meadowlands.
Okay, yeah.
The Meadowlands, and then the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, and the L.A. the LA Sports Arena.
So they would start Eastern time zone, and then somebody would start.
They would ping pong back and forth, and each location had a main event. The main event in Los Angeles was Hogan versus Bundy with the big blue cage.
Yeah, and Bundy did some great stuff. I mean, I remember when it was him, Hillbilly Jim, and then the little people, and he body slammed the little person.
He splashed the Haiti Kid.
Yeah, splash. That's what I meant. Yeah, splash.
Yeah, he splashed the Haiti Kid.
Yeah, he did some good stuff.
All right, my first one. We're going old school too. Everybody loves, right now everybody loves the Haktua girl. Just remember, the original Haktua was the man from Tehran, Iran, the Iron Sheik.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. In the age of the evil foreigner, there was none better than the Sheik.
Absolutely.
And now Iron Sheik was legitimately from Tehran, Iran.
Yes, he was.
He was an Olympian on the Iranian. He wrestled for the Iranian Olympic team. Mm-hmm. This dude was a bodyguard for the Shah of Iran.
Correct.
And he, when the Ayatollah came to power, he beat feet. He was in the United States for a wrestling tournament. Mm-hmm. And he stayed. He went to Minnesota, hooked up with Vern Gagne, became a pro wrestler, and, everybody loves Sheiky Baby. I got one of my Funko Pop collection.
Mm-hmm. Still remember one of the only people to break out of the camel clutch was Hulk Hogan.
Yep. But he was when he was in the tag team with Nikolai Volkov.
Yes.
He grabbed the mic. Iran, none better fun. Russia, none better fun. USA, ha.
He was, and I think he was the one that had the championship that he gave it to Hogan, right?
Yeah, he lost the belt to Hogan.
He lost the belt to Hogan.
He took the belt from Backlund. Held the belt for like 35 days, and then January of 1984, the beginning of Hulkamania.
Yep.
All right, what's your next one, Bill?
Well, my next one, I don't know if this broke the rules or not, but still, I couldn't help it. It's the original stable, not the new one. The original DX.
Yeah,
when it had Michaels, Triple H, and Rick Rude.
And China. Yep,
Yeah,
the original D-Generation X.
Because those guys were coming out just making fun of the establishment, being absolute jerks to Sergeant Slobber.
You remember when they had the grinding
Yes.
masks on?
Yep.
They came out. They took grinding masks out of a bag and put them on, and they had fucking little battery-powered windshield wipers on them.
Yeah, I mean, and from what Triple H has said about the stories, Vince McMahon absolutely hated what they were doing, but it made him money.
Until
it
the
was so
ratings
popular.
came in.
And then it was like Vince McMahon, and again, these are what Sean and Triple H were saying. Vince McMahon tried to give them tips on what to do, and they says, "Nope, we're gonna do what we want to do."
Right. And they actually got a letter. The WWF got a letter from Standards and Practices of the USA Network complaining about the things that D-Generation X did.
Oh
Yep.
my.
Right? And not just DX, but everybody on the show was doing about crotch chops and middle fingers and this and that. They did like a State of the Union address.
Yes.
The following week, DX did a State of the Union address and read from the letter.
Oh no.
Yep.
The USA Network never bothered him again because they loved it, and the ratings went through the fucking roof.
Yep.
Oh my.
And I think
Lord.
Bret Hart was the one who coined like the
D-Generation X.
well, they called them degenerates.
Yep.
And then Shawn Michaels just said, "We're D-Generation X." I'm like,
Yep.
What a great name.
Yep.
And it's like I still refer to our generation as that.
Yeah,
Because it's better than Generation X.
You ain't shit. All right, what's your next one there, Jim?
This one, I remember this guy, and this guy was always in high-profile matches back in the 80s. And I want to say I think he was a heel, because I can't. I want to say definitely was. Big John Studd.
Oh, yeah. Studd
Oh,
was
yeah.
a heel.
He was a heel.
That's what I thought.
Andre the Giant hated him.
Yes. That's why I remember him wrestling a lot.
No, legit. Andre hated him.
Really?
Andre hated him because Andre wanted to be, I'm the only giant.
Yes.
And, like, he was legit pissed off that Studd would step over the top rope. That's my thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Got you.
And you notice, Andre never let Big John Studd slam him.
No. He when they had that slam match, he kind of made him do it the hard way.
Well, no,
He wouldn't help out.
No, he didn't even. He just he sandbagged him.
Yep.
He completely sandbagged him. If Andre liked you and respected you, he would let you slam him. Mm-hmm. He didn't let Big John Studd slam him.
Yeah, the stories I've heard about Andre. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, if he liked you, you were golden. If he didn't like you, forget it.
Yeah.
Just ask Randy Savage.
Yep, bad stuff would happen.
Oh yeah, bad shit. When he beat the fuck out of Randy Savage on a regular basis. He beat the shit out of Ultimate Warrior on a regular basis. And if Andre didn't want you to do something, he wasn't going to do it.
Oh, my God.
All right, my next one. These guys started out in Gulf Coast Championship Wrestling, then went up to Memphis, and then they were in Mid-South, I want to say. And they took off when they got to Dallas, Texas. They came in, they were originally allied with the Von Erich brothers. But Christmas night, steel cage match between Nature Boy Ric Flair and Kerry Von Erich changed everything.
Okay.
The Fabulous Freebirds.
Oh, my Lord.
All right.
Michael Hayes was chosen as the guest referee, or the second referee, in the cage match between Flair and Kerry.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Gordy was outside the ring. And Kerry, being the good, honorable Texas boy, I'm not going to take the dirty win. I can't do that. And, well, Gordy's outside. Come on, Michael, let's just get the hell out of here. Right? So Flair ends up kneeing Kerry in the back and knocking Michael Hayes out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Kerry's like sitting there, I didn't do it. And Gordy comes up and slams the fucking cage into Kerry's head.
Oh.
And we're off to the races.
Oh, boy.
Greatest rivalry in world-class championship wrestling history. The only other heel that ever came close in world-class would probably be Gorgeous Gino Hernandez.
Yeah, I thought the Freebirds were faces. When I knew them, they probably were.
They started as baby faces.
All right.
They started as baby faces in Dallas. They were faces for a while in WCW and then went heel.
Okay.
But the Birds' best work was always as a heel.
And they also started the Freebird rule.
Yep.
Where if you have 3 people in a tag team, you can just any 2 can get the belt.
Any 2. They're the World Tag Team Champions, right? But there's 3 guys.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Any 2 can defend the belt.
Oh, my.
Yep, the Freebird rule, and they still use it from time to time.
Yep.
Like New Day used it.
Yep. When it's available to them.
Yeah.
And when it's convenient. All right, what's your next one?
All right, this one is someone that I don't know if anybody's gonna really. I absolutely love this person's heel work. He's a genius, and I'm glad in the wrestling card game I have they actually gave him a card called "You Are Welcome," and that's Damian Sandow. Or Aaron Stevens when he does his NWA stuff with the question mark. Oh, he is such great heel work. I love his mic work and how he wasn't able to do more and be bigger than he is just a damn shame.
Yeah, I agree. Damian Sandow did some great stuff. Like when he was Miz's understudy.
Yep.
That was great shit. And then when he would just like mock everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good stuff. He would come out dressed as a different wrestler. A few other guys have used that gimmick, but nobody did it as well as Damian Sandow.
Yeah, and I absolutely, again, the stuff he did in NWA when he was working with the question mark and ninth level Mongrovian karate.
Yes.
Oh God, he would do an interview. Don't look at me. You can't look at me while you're doing the interview. So the interviewer would just have to ask questions like this.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. What's your next one, Jim?
This one I'm pretty sure everybody knows. I want to say, did he start in the 80s or not? Teddy DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
1970s.
Yep.
Really?
He started in the 70s in Mid-South Championship Wrestling. Actually, he wrestled for Vince Sr. in the late 70s.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm big fan of Ted DiBiase's work.
Yeah.
And like the $1 Million Man stuff was great, but his heel stuff with they were called the Rat Pack in Mid-South Championship Wrestling with him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan is a heel.
Really?
Yes. Duggan as a heel was fucking awesome because Jim Duggan, contrary to what the WWE would make you think, Jim Duggan is a legit badass. Jim Duggan never lost a bar fight in his fucking life. And he would actively go out. Him, Ted DiBiase, and Matt Bourne were the Rat Pack in Mid-South. They would actively go to the bars in Louisiana looking for fights. And the thing is, now this is back when kayfabe was still a thing. If you lost a bar fight in Mid-South Championship Wrestling, Bill Watts fired your ass. Bill Watts he wouldn't fire you for getting in a fight. He'd fire you for losing the fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good call.
Yeah, and I recently saw an interview with him where when he did the basketball heel to the kid.
Yeah.
He's like, all you gotta do is bounce it like 10 times. We got the 9. He put his foot out.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the money. He ran into that kid so many years later as like, do you remember me? it was like it was renting a car at an airport.
Yeah.
And he's like, he couldn't believe he ran into the kid again. He loved it so much. They got pictures with him and everything.
Nice.
Oh God.
Nice.
And that kid ended up going to college on a basketball scholarship.
Nice. Well, when he did the $1 Million Man thing, Vince McMahon, Vince fully got behind it.
Mm-hmm.
He gave him a wad of cash to walk around with all the time. Rent limo, do whatever, pay for everything, and just expense it.
Wow.
And he kind of introduced us to Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, he was
The ringmaster.
when he was the ringmaster.
and $1 Million champion,
Yep.
which is a great championship.
Yeah.
And I think he was in the WrestleMania video game, Ted DiBiase, Andre the Giant, and Virgil were like the big characters
Yeah.
in that game.
Yep, they were the bad guys, the big bad guys in the game. My next one, you gotta love him. I mean, he's turned out to be. I can't say you gotta love him. Now, the more that I think about it, he's kind of lived his gimmick a little too much, and he's become a sad shell of what he used to be. Nature Boy Ric Flair. He embodied everything that you wished you could be at that time. You know, limousine riding, jet flying, all that shit. But he turned out to be a shitty person in real life.
Correct.
You know, I mean, there's enough stories out there. I don't
Yeah.
need to go through them.
Yeah.
I don't need to recount them. One just happened a few months ago. It's sad to see. Dude, you've nearly died twice. It's time to stop fucking drinking. You know, time to stop. Quit naching.
Yeah, his heel work with Dusty Rhodes was just
Oh, dude.
legendary.
Not just with Dusty. The stuff with Magnum TA. The stuff with Ricky Steamboat.
When he had the four horsemen.
Yep. Well, the
Sting.
The four
Oh,
horsemen.
Yeah.
Yep. The stuff with Sting. The stuff with Lex Luger when Lex was a
Yeah.
face. I mean, there's a reason Ric Flair carried the NWA World Title for almost the entire decade of the 1980s. See, WWF was a babyface territory. The way that they did business was you had the babyface champion, and you build up the monster heel for the babyface to beat. The NWA was different because, like, back in the day, the NWA World Champion would travel around to different promotions, like that were all under the NWA banner, and would have to wrestle the local top guy.
Got you.
So it always made sense for the good guy to be chasing the heel champion. And Flair was always the heel champion.
Got you.
All right. What's your last
Right.
one?
I finally, not last, second to last.
Second to, oh, yeah, second to last.
Yeah. So I'm
Very
gonna
nice.
we're gonna leave the WWE. No, it ain't him. But leave the WWE for just a split second,
Okay.
and we're gonna go down to Memphis.
Nice.
And one of my favorite heels to watch his. I didn't see it live, but I got to just relive it all. And that's Andy Kaufman.
Dude,
Oh, my Lord.
The man understood the business and how to be a proper heel.
you ain't shitting. Wow. I didn't even think to put Andy Kaufman on my
He
list.
understood. I mean, they took it to Letterman, and King slapped his teeth out. It's like
it was completely unplanned.
he understood how everything worked and did it beautifully.
And the thing is, that could have been so much bigger.
yeah,
Because he originally shot the idea to Vince Sr. Andy Kaufman originally shot the idea of the intergender champion, I want to be a bad guy wrestler, to Vince McMahon Sr.
Correct.
And Vince is like, nope. That's shitting on the business. So Bill Apter, the guy who from Pro Wrestling Illustrated and all the big pro wrestling magazines at the time, Bill Apter says, I got somebody I want you to talk to.
Oh, boy.
Says this to Kaufman. And he puts him in contact with Jerry Jarrett, who owns the Memphis promotion. And Jerry says, come on down. Let's have a talk. And he goes down. He talks to Jerry to King Lawler. And the rest is history.
Wow. Now, how long did that go on?
A couple of years.
Yep.
Couple of
Really? I
years.
didn't know Kaufman did that long.
Yep. And he would basically, when the King, beat the hell out of him, he did promos. You can't touch me. I'm Hollywood.
I'm from Hollywood. I'll sue you.
Yeah. Oh, it was beautiful because it was so. Andy Kaufman was, and I mean, I loved his comedy because his comedy is what I love is that I'm the one that wants to be entertained, not everyone else.
Yes.
And that's what he did. That's why it's you either got it or you didn't. I got Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, I got it too.
And that's why I loved what he did in wrestling.
One of the few Jim Carrey movies I really enjoy is Man on the Moon. But Kaufman, no, he goes down. He does this thing where he's beating up women, or he's wrestling women. Okay, if you it got to the point where it started out. If any woman can beat me, I'll give her $500. Now, keep in mind this is the early 1980s.
Yes.
Then it became $1,000. If any woman can beat me, I'll marry her. And so then he ends up getting in the ring with Jerry the King Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
At the time in Memphis, the pile driver was illegal. Okay? Automatic DQ if you had a pile driver. So Lawler and Kaufman in front of a sold-out Mid-South Coliseum. Lawler puts his hands behind his back. It says, "Here, get a headlock." And he picks him up, suplexes him, right? Mm-hmm. Back suplex. Picks him up, gives him a pile driver. Jerry Calhoun calls for the bell. Right? Mm-hmm. Lawler picks Kaufman up, pile drives him again. Kaufman's just laying there. Jerry Calhoun's like, "Are you all right?" "Yeah. Tell him I need an ambulance." So Jerry Calhoun goes over to Lawler. He says he needs an ambulance. And Lawler's just watching around. He says, no, tell him, now ambulance costs $300. You can't do that. He's not getting an ambulance. Tell him to just roll out of the ring. So Calhoun goes over and says, Jerry says no, an ambulance will cost $300. I'll pay for the goddamn ambulance. Call an ambulance. He sold it. Like, Lawler protected him. He was perfectly fine.
Right, mm-hmm. Right.
Lawler protected him, and he was perfectly fine. Andy Kaufman sold it. He took a ride in an ambulance to a Memphis hospital, laid in traction for 3 days, cut an interview while in traction.
I remember that.
And that's when they did the angle on Letterman when he's out in the fucking neck brace.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy just gave him the look, and Lawler understood the look and slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah, and didn't hold back the slap. Said, don't hold back. And he knocked him off his chair legit. And that gave Andy the right to get up and curse and yell. Dave knew nothing.
Yeah, Letterman knew nothing.
Yeah.
But he was smart enough to air it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Andy, good fucking call.
Yeah.
Good call. I completely forgot about Kaufman. All right, what's your next one, Jim?
This gentleman, I think we just lost in the past couple of years. He has many iterations, but the Razor Ramon,
Scott Hall.
yeah, persona.
Yep, the Razor Ramon. Another one of my Funko Pop collections. That one's autographed. I got him to sign that at a convention in Philly at ECW Arena.
Nice.
Whoa.
Scott Hall, great fucking heel. He started his career as a babyface as the American Starship Coyote. Okay, he was him and Dangerous Dan Spivey were a tag team, the American Starships, Eagle and Coyote. Mm-hmm. And then he went to the AWA under his real name, Scott Hall. Mm-hmm. I may have them two backwards, I'm not sure. Then he went back to WCW. He was the Diamond Stud, managed by Diamond Dallas Page. And then it all took off for him when he fucking channeled his inner Scarface. His inner Tony Montana. He became Razor Ramon.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Chico. And then it really took off when the NWO started.
Oh, my God, did it ever.
Yeah.
You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Mm-hmm. And he has one of the greatest lines from a Hall of Fame speech of anybody. In fact, Chael Sonnen just reused the line when he got inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Yep. Scott Hall, good fucking call. Really good call. My next to last one. I love his work as a babyface. I love his work as a heel. But I got to give the edge to his work as a heel, especially when he's doing one particular iteration of the character. CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
When he's doing the I'm straight edge, that means I'm better than you. I fucking love that. Because it's not really that far off from who Punk is as a person.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him actually do that. Every time I've seen him doing something, he's basically the anti-authority figure.
Well, he originally debuted that character on the Indies, and like it really took off when he was with Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I'm straight edge. That means I'm drug free. I'm drink free, and that means I'm better than you. Fucking love CM Punk. What's your last one?
Well, my last one's obvious because, I mean, who else out there? Best heel ever in any promotion. Comes in bagpipes and a kilt. Best guy on the mic. Hot Rod Roddy Piper.
Yes.
One of his greatest heel moments. Everybody talks about when he smashed the guitar in Madison Square Garden leading up to WrestleMania. No, fucking no. He's wrestling in Los Angeles, California for Gene LaBelle. Now, of course, LA has a huge Latino community.
Oh,
right?
no.
So, I'm going to make myself... This is for my Mexican fans. I want to do something for you, my Mexican fans. I'm going to get my bagpipes and I'm going to play the Mexican national anthem. Motherfucker started playing La Cucaracha on the bagpipes.
Oh.
Yeah, he's never shied away from just insulting every single person that got in his way, and I absolutely loved him for it.
I love Piper for that.
Yeah.
Piper,
Yep.
Piper, and to the day he died, defended the business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to the day he died. There's a video clip out there of Bill Maher.
Oh, man, I know that one.
He's on Bill Maher. It's him, Bobby Heenan, Medusa Michelli, and Sting. And Bill Maher says, well, your fans, they're kind of in on the joke.
Yeah, that was a wrong thing to say.
Wrong thing to say.
Yeah, what
joke. Still, see that wrist broken 7 times. It's never been fixed. And then he pulls his pants down in the middle of the fucking interview and says, hips replaced. How fake is that? Owen Hart died in the middle of the ring. Tell his wife how fake this is.
Yeah.
It's predetermined, it's scripted, but the last thing it is fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, also Piper would never shied away from, doing a promo. Whether there's a promo out there, I think he did against Eric Bischoff.
Yo.
Where he basically, oh my God.
He did a promo in TNA where he all but accused.
Yeah.
He accused Vince Russo of killing
Yep.
Owen.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. It was against Vince Russo, not Bischoff.
Yeah, of killing Owen.
But holy shit, he had something to say, and he was going to say it, and he didn't care.
No. And the thing is, Roderick Toombs, not Roddy Piper, the character, Roderick Toombs, the man, would have legit beat your fucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
The dude was a 2-time Canadian Gold Gloves champion.
Eey.
Yeah. Roddy Piper was nothing to play with.
Yeah, and I loved all, and I still, the stuff that, again, I know him and Mr. T hated each other. Legit. Didn't like each other, but he still did what he needed to do in the ring.
He did what he needed to do for business. But if T would have stepped on,
I love what he would say. It's like, yeah, there was like a no touching Mr. T clause or something, and he just walks in and he's like, what does with the hairdo? What look at that? What does it look like a Brillo pad? It's like,
Oh.
Yeah.
He had no idea there was a no touching clause.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget about the day at the Hamburg Fieldhouse where he smashed a coconut over Jimmy Snuka's head.
Yep.
There was a gimmicked coconut on the table.
Oh.
He didn't grab the gimmicked coconut. He fucked up and grabbed the one that wasn't gimmicked.
Why would you have 2 coconuts?
Well, no, there was a bunch of bananas
Yeah.
and there was a couple of coconuts and a
boy.
pineapple. And he made the mistake and grabbed the wrong fucking coconut, the one that wasn't, like,
Yeah.
going to break easier, but still smashed it over Snooker's head. Yeah. What's your last one?
I'm going to do 2 honorables here. I don't remember if this guy was a heel or not. I want to say he kind of was because of the way he acted, but you were always sympathetic towards him. George the Animal Steel.
Steel, he started his career as a heel.
Yeah, kind of. He was heelish in the beginning, and then when
The whole thing, what turned him babyface was like the whole thing with Macho Man Saturday.
That's
Elizabeth.
yes.
Elizabeth.
That's what
But if you go back on Peacock, if you go back to like the early All Star Wrestling stuff, George Steele was a stone fucking heel.
Yeah, and he was one of the hairiest men I ever remember seeing. I got also have Nikolai Volkov down.
Gotta love Nikolai.
Yep. But my number 1 was the Iron Sheik.
Sheiky baby.
Yep.
Everybody loves Sheiky baby. I fucking love Sheiky baby. My number 1. Turns out he's more of a heel in real life than he ever was in the wrestling business. I almost don't want to talk about him, but you can't deny he was the greatest heel of his generation, Vince McMahon. Because who doesn't want to kick the shit out of their boss?
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, all that started when the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he thought he was going to be the babyface in that
Yeah.
situation. He thought he was going to be the good guy. Brett screwed Brett. He didn't honor the time-honored tradition. No, dickhead. You could have just done a schmaz. Brett would have done the honorable thing. No, Brett would have done the honorable thing. Brett would have always done... Brian says, good guys, bad guys, whoever. Back in the day, give me Elizabeth.
Jesus Christ.
Brian.
Good evening, Brian.
Evening, Brian.
But, yeah. Vince, it turns out he's a bigger heel in real life than he ever was, on our TV screens. I don't even want to go into this shit with Vince because it's disgusting. You got any honorable mentions?
Well, I mean, I don't know the ones I crossed out and I crossed like Shawn Michaels, Flair, Triple H. This one was an honorable. He's a shit wrestler, just shit interviews. But I still love them for Scott Steiner.
Steiner.
Scott Steiner.
But the thing is, when Scott Steiner, before he bulked up, before he became Big Papa Pump, he was fantastic. Now, the interviews were always shit.
Oh,
Kids, find the Steiner math promo. You'll thank me.
Again, it's like, and because he was so bulked up, he really couldn't do...
You couldn't do shit anymore.
He couldn't do shit, and his promos are crap, but for some reason, whenever that music hit, holla, if you hear me, I'm ready, yes, let's see it.
Yeah. His nephew is now,
Oh, yeah, I've seen him, yeah.
going gangbusters in WWE.
Yes, Scott Steiner, to me, is the definition of those so bad it's good movies.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, I have a few honorable mentions. We already did your honorables, right, Jim?
Yes.
Okay. I have a few honorable mentions here. One, this guy, I talked in the beginning of the bit about motherfuckers that you want to shank. This is a dude that if you tried it, he's going to stab you first. He used to come to the ring with blades on his fingers because he had that much heat. The original Sheik, Ed Farhat.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. The original Sheik. If you were in a match with the Sheik, you knew you were bleeding. And he, terrible heel, never worked as a babyface. And he's Sabu's uncle, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sabu's uncle, and trained both Sabu and Rob Van Dam. Now, next one. He was never given a chance anywhere but a bingo hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was held down by Ric Flair. He was held down by countless other guys until a guy named Todd Gordon decided to take a chance on him, and Paul Heyman decided to take a chance on him. And Terry Funk said, yeah, I can make him. The franchise, Shane Douglas.
Oh, boy, forgot about him.
Genuinely one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Shane Douglas is a fucking great dude. The franchise is an asshole. One of my favorite, and I hate to say it, but one of my favorite things that Shane Douglas ever did, he did an angle. He wrestled a match against Tony Durante, who was one of the pit bulls in ECW. Gave Tony a double arm DDT that it went
Sideways?
Went sideways. And Tony ended up breaking his neck. So while Tony's partner, oh no, it was Gary Wolf that he gave the DDT to. Pitbull 2, Gary Wolf. While he's healing, his partner Tony Durante is going against Shane Douglas for the ECW World Television title. Now, Gary Wolf has a halo surgically screwed into his head, okay? And the body brace, the whole thing. Fucking legit had the halo, okay? They didn't take it off for an extra 3 weeks to do an angle. He was healed. The halo could have come off, but they did an angle where Shane fucking ripped him around by the halo and threw him onto the ground.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. That almost caused one of many riots in ECW arena. Stick with ECW for the next one. The epitome of the Generation X wrestler. So it is written, so it shall come to pass. Quote the Raven nevermore. Raven.
Yes.
I loved Raven. And, he had the perfect babyface to work with Tommy Dreamer, because Dreamer never wanted to win. I don't want to be the champion. And the only time he ever fucking beat Raven was when Raven left to go to WCW. Other than that, Dreamer never beat him.
Was Raven the first guy to tie the flannel around the waist?
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, that became a fashion thing at that time. And everybody, if they weren't wearing it, they were tying it around their waist. That was like the anti-grunge almost.
Yeah.
No, we did it.
Yeah, well, Raven was one of the first to do that one.
Do you guys remember when they wrestled at Jim Thorpe?
I
All
was
the
there.
time.
I was there the last show that they ever promoted there.
Is that the one where he went out into the fucking parking lot?
No, that happened before that.
Okay.
I was there the last show that they ever held at Flagstaff. Oh God, I got stories about this one.
But the one I was at was the one where they went out into the fucking parking lot.
Well, that happened a few times.
Oh.
But before the show, I'm out there. Somewhere I have the pictures. I'm standing there with New Jack from the Gangstas. And we're like, let us in. New Jack kicked the fucking door off the hinges. Okay? Now, that's the night I almost got in a fight with Stevie Richards. Okay? Now, this is before digital cameras. I had an actual fucking film camera. Really nice Canon I had. Stevie Richards and the Meanie wrestled a tag team match that night. And I got a picture of the Meanie. Stevie, can I get a picture? No, I gotta go. Stevie! He turns around, he took his picture. He fucking wanted to fight me. Meanie had to, stop him. But the main event of the night, the Sandman. Now, this is the time when Raven was doing the thing where he had Lori Fullington, the Sandman's wife, in his corner.
Okay.
And the Sandman's son, Tyler, in his corner. Legit, his wife and kid.
Okay.
And they did an angle where, Sandman's family turned on him and was with Raven.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it was Raven and primetime Brian Lee, who was the Underfaker, the fake Undertaker, against Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Lee, you know where the bar was at Flagstaff.
Yes.
Brian Lee got thrown through the bar. They broke the bar.
Oh, my.
You know where the 2 pool tables were in the back?
Yes.
You know how remember how they would just put the masonite on top of them?
Uh-huh.
Raven took a pile driver on the masonite and broke the masonite and bled all over the fucking pool table.
It's probably why that was the last time they
That
were
was
invited
the
there.
last show that they ever did at Flagstaff.
Wonder why.
Brian says the Nasty Boys were from Whitehall, and from what I was told from reliable sources, one of their relatives they are really nice guys. I used to buy guitars and shit off of Brian Knobs' brother. Yeah.
Guitar knobs.
Yeah, well, no, Knobs' brother worked at Guitar Villa.
Ah.
I bought and sold a ton of shit from fucking Brian Knobs' brother. So that's Raven. Now we got a modern one. He's probably the best heel going today when he's working as a heel. He's better than you and you know it. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Better than Piper in Portland. Better than Punk in Chicago. I'm better than you and you know it. Love MJF.
Yep.
And last one. Any dude who puts his opponent's wife on his trunks gets fucking points. Gets style points. What I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, out of shape Pennsylvania pissants, keep your mouth shut while I take my robe off.
Yes.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Guy had an 8-pack.
Fuck.
Jesus.
And, you know, he was one of those guys from that, like a bumper crop of great pro wrestlers from Robbinsdale, Minnesota at that time. Him, the Road Warriors, Kurt Hennig, you know, fucking Crusher Khrushchev,
Okay.
who later became Demolition Smash and Repo Man, Barry Darso, all from the same fucking high school,
Really?
Robbinsdale High School in Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Wow.